Voices of the Unheard. Giovanni adjusted his worn cap as he stepped off the train, clutching a paper bag with his family's last few belongings, his heart heavy with hope and fear. The dusty streets of New York felt foreign and unwelcoming, yet he held his head high, determined to carve a path for his family in this strange land. Each morning before dawn, Giovanni joined a line of men outside the docks, silently waiting for the foreman to select his day's crew with a cold, calculating stare. The hours were grueling, his hands calloused and blistered, but Giovanni reminded himself that each ache was a step closer to his family's dream. Across the city, Bridget, an Irish immigrant, scrubbed the marble floors of a grand mansion, her body weary yet mind racing with thoughts of her starving family. She felt invisible in the house, passing by her employers like a shadow, though each coin they gave her was a lifeline for her loved ones back in Ireland. Late at night, Bridget would write letters by candlelight, promising her mother that America would be their salvation, though her faith wavered. In the bustling streets of Los Angeles, young Rosa held her father's hand tightly as they searched for work, her eyes wide with wonder at the city's dazzling lights. Rosa dreamed of sitting in a classroom, her fingers tracing letters on a page, but for now, each day was a struggle to simply survive. Her father found labor in the fields, enduring long hours under the sun, while Rosa joined her mother in sewing clothes for pennies. On weekends, Giovanni gathered with fellow Italians, sharing bread, laughter, and stories of their homeland, each tale a bridge to the life they left behind. Though they barely knew each other, the Italian men looked out for one another, forming a makeshift family in the heart of the unfamiliar city. Bridget often lingered near the docks, watching ships unload, imagining the journey that brought her here, and wondering if she could ever feel at home. One cold morning, Bridget met a fellow Irishwoman who shared her longing, and the two became fast friends, leaning on each other for strength. Giovanni faced increasing hostility from local workers who saw immigrants as a threat, yet he kept his head down, focusing on his family's survival. Rosa's father spoke often of returning to Mexico, where life was hard but familiar, though Rosa clung tightly to her dream of becoming an American student. In the evenings, Rosa listened to her father's tales of their homeland, each story a reminder of the warmth and simplicity they'd left behind. Bridget saved every coin she could, sending what little she had back to Ireland, though she worried it was never enough to ease her family's suffering. Giovanni met a local priest who offered food and advice, becoming a rare ally in a city that seemed to resent the newcomers at every turn. When Bridget's friend fell ill, Bridget took on extra work, sacrificing sleep and health to care for the woman who had become her sister in spirit. Rosa's hands were sore from stitching, but she marveled at her mother's resilience, wondering if she'd one day possess the same strength. Giovanni's son grew thin and weak, prompting Giovanni to work longer hours, desperate to afford enough food to keep his family healthy. Bridget struggled to hide her fatigue from her employers, knowing that a single complaint could mean losing the only job she had. Rosa's father took her to church each Sunday, where they prayed silently for hope. Each candle they lit a small spark in the darkness of their struggle. Giovanni was haunted by memories of Italy, where his family had lived simply but with dignity, a stark contrast to their current life in poverty. In moments of doubt, Bridget would hum an Irish lullaby, the familiar tune grounding her in a world where she often felt so adrift. Rosa's heart sank each time her father mentioned returning, yet she knew he only wanted what was best for her, even if it meant giving up her dream. Giovanni found solace in a local Italian church, where he could speak his language and remember the familiar rituals of his homeland. Bridget's employers rarely acknowledged her, yet she found moments of peace while caring for their young child, feeling needed in her quiet way. Rosa made friends with a Mexican boy who taught her English phrases, her excitement at learning tempered only by the weight of her family's struggles. Giovanni watched his neighbors suffer as jobs grew scarcer, yet he still clung to hope, his spirit as unbreakable as his calloused hands. One day, Bridget received a letter from her mother, describing the famine's toll, each word a stab to her heart yet a motivation to continue. Rosa's father fell ill, forcing her to take on more sewing, her small hands working tirelessly to support their fragile family. Giovanni's wife grew distant, her spirit battered by poverty and fear, and he struggled to reassure her that they were on the right path. Bridget's friend finally succumbed to her illness, leaving Bridget alone and more determined than ever to find a purpose in her difficult life. Rosa helped her mother care for her father, her young face marked by a maturity born of hardship and necessity. Giovanni met a Mexican man at work, and despite their language barrier, they exchanged smiles, understanding each other's shared struggle. Bridget found herself befriending a young black woman who understood the pain of being unseen, their bond deepening as they shared stories. Rosa found courage in each new word she learned, dreaming of a future where she could speak freely, her voice unburdened by fear. Giovanni's family grew stronger through each challenge, bound together by the unwavering love that had carried them across an ocean. Bridget learned to assert herself in small ways, feeling pride each time she stood up for her worth, her voice gaining strength with every act. Rosa's father regained his health, and though their future was still uncertain, they felt a renewed sense of hope and possibility. Giovanni and Bridget met at a community gathering, sharing a knowing glance that bridged their silent, shared struggles. Rosa saw Giovanni and his family from across the street, recognizing in their faces a familiar resilience and longing. Giovanni marveled at how many lives had intersected in this foreign land, each person carrying a unique story of sacrifice and hope. Bridget offered Rosa a quiet smile, recognizing in her young eyes the same fire that had once driven her across the sea. Rosa felt comfort in the presence of these strangers who, despite their differences, shared the same unbreakable spirit. The community gathering became a place where walls crumbled, and voices once silenced by fear found strength in unity. Giovanni shared his story with the group, his voice steady yet filled with emotion, his journey a testament to perseverance. Bridget recounted her tale, her voice soft but resolute, her words capturing both the pain and resilience of her journey. Rosa spoke shyly at first, but as she shared her dream of attending school, the community listened with rapt attention and encouragement. Each story told that evening connected the group, bridging gaps of culture, language, and experience with a shared thread of struggle. Giovanni felt an overwhelming sense of pride, seeing his family's hardships woven into the tapestry of their new community. Bridget saw in the gathered faces the spirit of her homeland, a reminder that they all carried pieces of where they'd come from. Rosa left the gathering inspired, her heart lighter with the knowledge that she was not alone in her dream or her struggle. Giovanni, Bridget, and Rosa shared a silent vow to continue supporting each other, their bond strengthened by this new family of survivors. The immigrant community grew closer, united by their shared experiences, finding hope and strength in their differences and common dreams. As they parted that night, each person carried with them a sense of belonging, the weight of their past softened by the warmth of the future. Through their journey, they discovered that while voices alone may be unheard, together they formed a powerful chorus of hope and resilience.